What's going on, guys? I hope you are doing well this morning. It is 10:55 a.m. where I am at. Oh my goodness. Well, I wanted to do a video on Friday. It was 25 minutes long, but I accidentally deleted it while I was trying to upload it on YouTube. Sad story. Nonetheless, I'm here today and I just wanted to cover what I'm seeing here in the charts. It's looking a lot better than it was during the weekend and on Friday. But yeah, we are in an interesting situation, so I'm going to get right into it. All right, so this white line here, I have it as an important level because that is where the Bollinger Band on the bottom is showing signs of potential wick action or support if there were to be any attempts to have a bounce, an official bounce here. So as you can see, last time the Bollinger Bands kind of showed its hand as support was right around here. Actually happened as well where there was some previous support down here, so it kind of created this like upward sloping line. As you can see, yesterday's daily candle did wick below there. We actually did get a candle close below. It was the weekend. I don't like weekend price action at all. It is it's very easy for nefarious actors, and I'm using quotes. I know you can't see me, but I'm using quotes on my hands, finger quotes of nefarious actors. It's just traders who they have a lot of capital, then they can push the price to and fro to their particular direction. Um, the reason why that's the case is because the order books are super thin regarding weekend price action, so it's very easy for like these whales to pump and dump the price and all that kind of stuff. So regarding the weekend, I just don't really care for it. So that's one of the reasons why I still hold this line, this yellow line here, as some form of support. Now, what I don't like to see here is a cross. We did get a 9 and 21 exponential moving cross to the downside a couple days ago, as I had mentioned. And yeah, so price is consolidating right there. As you can see, we did get a wick above there, but so far price is just getting rejected. So my thesis in regards to this candle close here is like, well, yeah, we're going to have a week or two of price action below the exponential moving averages. So far, we're still in, we're not in hot water by no means. To be honest, just the fact that this candle close was not below this blue line, it was above this line here, closed above the line, as opposed to not below this line here. So I'm very happy about that, I'll be completely honest with you, because if we do see daily candle closes below this blue line, that would invalidate a lot of things. Obviously, this upward sloping yellow line as a support line is in a way getting invalidated to some extent. We're in a very close razor edge point in price action. If this line is to hold support, then we're most likely going to see a gradual move to the upside. But even then, we do have this confirmed downward sloping resistance. So even if we were to say bounce above here, I would need to see a candle close above the red line, or I would expect us to get rejected and we create a lower low on the local time frame perspective. All right, but so far so good. I'll be completely honest with you. I like that we were bouncing off of this line here. We never really got a clean confirmed test. We kind of just gapped. So for example, what I'm talking about here, this particular area, we never had a confirmed candle close wick. We had a wick close to the line, but it wasn't necessarily at the line. So just to see this kind of happen right here, this I feel more confident about this bounce than I do about this bounce. I'll be completely honest with you. Now, what I would need to see is money flow to consolidate and really get a buy signal here, and then eventually see money flow come back to the upside, because right now we are kind of seeing something like this, which isn't a bad thing. It just means that we could have a wick lower, we could have more daily candle closes, and it could take literally weeks to actually see some price action to the upside. So realistically, we are kind of seeing something similar to this area. Now, if we can get a divergence, that would be phenomenal, just like this area, because that triggered a pretty nice move to the upside, and it led to a pretty hefty pump to the upside here. We're kind of in a similar instance where the money flow hasn't gone red yet, but money is leaving the market. So realistically, I do think that we have a little bit more to go in regards to this, sideways and down price action to then reset, find a solid base, and continue moving to the upside. So that's my take on the S&P 500. So let's go to dominance. All right. So now let me go to the 1 hour time frame here. So I wanted to show you guys something rather intriguing. So Bitcoin dominance is losing out. We are creating lower lows and lower highs. We did get a wick lower, but we did get a candle close low. But essentially, we were kind of in this channel here not too long. It has been confirmed as resistance, and now we are below this upward sloping line here. So as you can see, so just for perspective, these yellow dotted zones are more relevant than the colored ones where you see like the dotted blue lines, dotted red lines. So realistically, yeah, we are below this kind of area. Excuse me, I had to sneeze a little bit. Yeah, we are below that area, which is not good. We are seeing dominance fade out a little bit. I think honestly we might have a little bit more to go until we see like a true pivot to the upside. So let me go to 4 hour. Yeah, money flow is thick in the red, and momentum wave, the blue wave, is still pointing to the downside. And as you can see here, we do have a low, and then we have a lower low. So that's indicative to a strong trend moving to the downside. As you can see as well, the bars on the bottom are still printing red. So I do expect price to continue to the downside until further notice. But if you're an altcoin junkie, which I am at times, you are liking this price action because it just goes to show that we are going to be seeing alts outperform Bitcoin at this time. And yeah, going to the ETH to BTC dominance chart, we are seeing some form of of uh, uh, consistency, if you will. So for the past pretty much, I would say, 3 days, we've had upward price movement. So this has been interesting to see. I like going to the 1 hour here because I have the yellow calibrated to a certain degree. So you could honestly say that price broke through this yellow line. You see this yellow dotted area? I'm going to tag it right now. So this was acting as resistance, and it now has been flipped as support. As you can see, we had this candle, bearish engulfing candle, get nullified because we are now currently coming above once again from this area. So you can, I mean, from my perspective, that is a confirmation of this getting ratcheted up as support, and ETH to BTC is in favor of ETH at this time. Now, key levels to be concerned are, to be aware of, I'm sorry, is right here. I would argue that ETH probably has 1.9% more to go until it starts seeing some turbulence. Ultimately, I do see this area as resistance still. If you zoom out, we still have had this triangle pattern break to the downside, and yeah, I mean, this area, I would argue right here, this line, I would argue it as some form of resistance. So even if price were to pump to the upside, I would see this area as some form of resistance until we do go lower. Now, we could get a fake out. Those are a thing. So if the one thing that would kind of nullify this particular triangle pattern here is a daily candle close above that red sloping line that I just showed you. So that would indicate to me that we are not only going to break above that line, but we are also going to rip to the upside and probably take out this high right here at 0.085. So keeping my eyes on it. I'm still bearish up until I see a candle close above at the very least 0.0719. That would kind of indicate a W pattern. We do have a bullish divergence, which is interesting to see. but also money flow is still kind of red and diminishing. So we 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 still need to see some developments occur. But yeah, from my perspective, I do see us ripping a little bit more until we hit resistance. I'm not expecting a daily candle close above this particular local high area. As you can see, there's a lot of lines kind of formulating in this area. But I'm going to circle it. If we can have a daily candle close above that, I would feel much more confident in price continuation. But at this time, to me, it looks a little short term. That's just from my assessment here. All right, so I am going to go to Quant. All right, so Quant actually did some interesting things. The other day, we did break this upward sloping line, and we are now actually below the 0.382 level. So let me zoom in here. Yeah, I was kind of day trading this, and when it broke this line here, I closed out my position, and so since then it's kind of been dumping, unfortunately. Um, the unfortunate thing is that it is now below the 0.382 level, and yeah, there was some whale manipulation. There are people who really want to dump, I'm sorry, this asset. Um, yeah, so I like to go on a 4-hour perspective here. So on the 4-hour perspective, we are seeing some kind of potential trigger wave here. Let me go to the 2-hour. 2-hour did get a buy signal, but then immediately got a sell signal, but the money flow is still pointing to the upside, and the volume weighted average price is trying to cross. So if I go to the 1-hour, we're most likely going to see some form of a buy signal. Yes, we did. All right, so there is some semblance of that. Money flow is weak, I would say, versus the bullish sentiment here. But let me see here. As you can see, money flow is looking kind of weak. So realistically, this buy signal could be a potential confirmation. Also, given that we did get some whale manipulation here, I don't necessarily see this price action as valid to the trend. Usually that happens within once you see these yellow X's print on the market liberator indicator. But yeah, let me go to the 4-hour here and kind of see exactly where we are at. Daily candle close below this area. Yeah, so this was kind of an area I was looking at, and right now we do have a wick. So that's not a bad sign here. Let me go to the 4-hour here. So let me do some TA action. Excuse me. All right, so right there. And we do have somewhat of a trend here, I would argue. Yeah, so we do have somewhat of a downward sloping channel, which these are actually bullish. Yeah, so we'll see what happens here, because if this yellow line going back dating over here, maybe I should go to the 1-hour to see exactly. Yeah, this area right here would make sense all the way up to 0.05 here. Huh, okay. Go to the 4-hour now. Yeah, because this was resistance. We are getting some form of, yeah, from this wick to down here probably. Yeah, this would be kind of like the zone that I feel most comfortable. Okay, yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, we did get across to the upside, but ultimately it did kind of come down here. But a friend of mine did kind of show something in the lower term time frames here that got me intrigued. So I'm going to take this off right now. And let me, yeah, I think it was the 1-hour. So let me turn off all these indicators because it's kind of hard to do line charting when you have all of these indicators kind of popping up in your face. So on the 1-hour, he had shown it was some form of trend broken. Yeah, there it is. And then he had a falling wedge kind of printed. So you could make an argument that that's still valid. Yeah, so at this time, yeah, we are getting a buy signal. Money flow is a little bit red here. Um, yeah, so how these work, these falling wedges, they eventually come back up to the upside. So realistically, um, that is an option to be had. So I'm going to these lower time frames here, and I want to see it. Was there whale manipulation? I know that, well, I mean, there was whale manipulation. Yes, there was. I forgot. But yeah, okay, I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. There was some whale manipulation here. Yeah, so it fell way lower than it really was showing initially. There was a lot of volume at this level as well. So let me go to like the lower term time frames. Is there still whale manipulation? No. No, not at this time. There was capitulation right here. So yeah, usually when you see capitulation, price usually does reverse. So far so good. We're getting buy signals on the lower term time frames. Um, so far, the 1 hour bars are still red. Let me go to the 37-minute time frame. Okay, 37-minute time frame. The bars are showing that they want to flip to the bull side. So that is interesting to see. Okay, well, I am done with QNT at this time. Let's actually go to no more Bitcoin pairs. Let's actually go to Ethereum and Bitcoin. So let me go to Bitcoin first. All right. So let me go to the 1 hour. So this is actually bearish, unfortunately. But we see some support. All right, so I have my indicators set. So these yellow bars right here, these dotted support levels, the yellow bars, or I'm sorry, the yellow horizontal lines, those are calibrated to the 4 hour. So as it stands, 4 hour support is showing here, this level. Okay, and as you can see, the yellow dots right here are showing significant resistance right here, and as you can see, the 1 hour caught it earlier. Um, so we're kind of like in this range at this time. And as you can see, once support is lost, it becomes resistance. So this area right here is acting as resistance as well. Now, not to worry, I would say. We did kind of get a lower wave than the previous, and we did get a bearish divergence right here. And I don't like that price action is below the exponential moving averages. And it sucks because the super trend Bollinger Bands here are blue. So we theoretically we could see some wick action below, but I wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable calling that at this time. The exponential moving averages are, you know, still blue, so there's no confirmation of a cross just yet. But yeah, like if price continues to stay below this area and this cross is confirmed, then wouldn't feel too confident about the coming price action. I would actually wait until prices come down, probably around here, to maybe buy back in at some point. All right, so yeah, I like to use a 37-minute as a precursor to the 1 hour. And as you can see, the Bollinger Bands are starting to actually point to the downside in blue. But that I may not uh, validate that until I would see the wave. Maybe there could be a trigger wave. The volume weighted average price here, this yellow line, is actually super low. Usually when it goes that low, it shows that the bottom has already been kind of printed. So if I go to really zoomed in levels, we do have a buy signal here. So it's not completely over for the bulls. We are continuing to create some forms of higher lows. So it's not completely out of the question to actually see continuation, but there has to be consolidation before that continuation. All right, but yeah, I would preferably, if I were a bull, I would definitely want to see this momentum wave come back down, and then we come back up to create a higher low instance, and then we move to the upside from there. So kind of like something like this, right? But yeah, that's my stance on Bitcoin. So far we are in this range. I don't expect it to necessarily break. Oh yes, but I do have to say, I'm going to turn off all these indicators because it's going to get real messy. To simplify things, I do think we are in a broadening ascending wedge. This is actually a bearish pattern. I will be completely honest. The way that these things work is, we usually see things like this where it'll play around in here and it'll eventually break to the downside. So I hope it doesn't get as extreme as it seems right here. Usually how these things work is they come back to the base of the ascending broadening wedge. So realistically, price could come back down here. It just depends on where the breakout really begins, because you can do the measured move where the top is and where the bottom is. So it could actually go lower. But essentially, yeah, that is something that is forming in major time frames, and it is to me kind of bearish on a macro perspective. So you just got to be very wary of stuff like that. So far, personally, what I'm doing is I'm just waiting for price action to kind of formulate. If I see a bullish divergence, I would kind of initiate a particular trade. But as it stands, like these divergences right here with a line and then a blue dot, we don't have that yet on the 4 hour, so I can't really feel confident about opening up fresh longs. If anything, we're getting sell signals and money flows starting to point to starting to turn red. So realistically, I feel more confident, staying out of the market altogether and just waiting for a bullish divergence, yeah, or shorting the market. Which honestly, shorting, you had a better shot at shorting when you were over here, given that market liberator indicator did show you some divergences here that you could have opened up shorts and you could have just like been riding it. Right now we're kind of like in no man's land. We're seeing red money flow, the bar showing blue still. So realistically, I feel more confident in kind of seeing sideways and down, as opposed to opening up any fresh shorts. I would like, if anything, I would like to see price to test this line here, this upward sloping line. If I see like a 4-hour candle close below that line and a back test as resistance, then I would feel way more comfortable opening shorts. But right now, I mean, it's really wonky price action. If you zoom in here onto the 1 hour, we saw it. Money flows starting to turn blue. We did kind of get like a little mini trigger wave, but then as you can see, the trigger wave. So so here, this was the trigger wave, right? But then, and there was a nice little pump, but then now we're even below the starting point, of the trigger wave. So you have to be very careful when you're in these zones and the higher term time frames are showing bearish signs, but the lower term time frames are showing bullish signs. That, to me, that's an indication of sideways, if anything, sideways and down. So yeah, I would just hold out if you were considering any positions at this time, and just kind of just wait for better levels to kind of present themselves. I would definitely argue for that. All right, so we did kind of hover above this key level at 1681, but we weren't able to hold it. Yeah, we had a 1730 as like staunch resistance. Wasn't able to get above it, and yeah, we've been breaking down since then. I noticed that there was this kind of trend line here that did break bearish, and since then it's just been actually I can now update this as resistance. There you go. There you go. I like to update these things periodically. Okay. Yeah, we're still above this key box level. There's many major areas of support here. So if you zoom out, you know, it looks bad right now, but if you zoom out on the 4-hour time frame, we are maintaining this level of support, and so far, you know, we are still chopping sideways, but ultimately, until I see a candle close below this blue box, I don't feel bearish. We could consolidate, go sideways and down, and kind of create a higher low instance to then break above 1,730. But at this time, given what I'm seeing on the Bitcoin price action, I am precautious in opening any fresh longs at this time. But anyway, from the 4-hour standpoint, I can now see a trend line. So that would be right here. So we did get a bounce right here, rather intriguing. But as you can see, we are getting a sell signal. All right, but we're getting, yeah, money flow is gone, and yeah, it's just not looking too interesting, to be honest. Money flow is trying to go back blue, right? But we're seeing some bipolar action. We're getting a sell signal, but money flow is blue, and then we're getting buy signals right here. Okay, so I don't feel confident. I think we're too close to this support line because it could give out. I'll be honest with you. I want to see a buy signal. Like, I want to see a fresh buy signal like these, right? And I want to see a higher low. Okay. Um, we have we don't have the buy signal, and so therefore I can't really figure out if that's the higher low I'm looking for. So right now it's a no trade for me. I got to be completely honest. It's a no trade for me at this time. I'm just gonna be waiting and chilling. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see price move to the upside, of course, but you know, you can't force things. Um, you know, once I see better positions, I would then voice my opinion for those. But at this time, I'm very precautious of current price action. I mean, it's just been sideways and down ever since, you know, that pattern break to the downside. So, and we're getting a fresh sell signal on the 4-hour. So if I go to the 2-hour, which is a precursor, money flow is looking decent. But as you can see, we are getting a sell. We got a bearish divergence right here. So the more price accumulates these things, the more likely we're coming back down to the downside. So, but we'll see. I do like to use the 32 as a precursor. So right now, oof, we did get a bearish divergence. That's not good at all. That is not good at all. Yeah, last time we had bearish divergences like this. Yeah, we ended up dumping to the downside pretty significantly, and usually these kind of take a while to formulate. But yeah, all right. So consensus, I would definitely argue to stay out of the market until we are at better levels to long. I think the bear move has the bear move. You know, you really should have been shorting last week, and then you know taking your profits now. At this time, we're kind of like not necessarily in the middle of the range, but we're like below the middle. So it's kind of hard to really feel confident about any positions. The bounce was in the weekend, which is unfortunate because I love bounces off key levels. Um, but you know, also I don't like weekend price action. So we were kind of SOL on that one. But nonetheless, I'm just going to leave it at that. I hope this was fruitful information for you. If anything, uh, yeah, if you found this information informative, please give it a like and a share. And yeah, let me know if you want me to do any specific coins or any stocks or indices. I'm totally down for that. But anyway, take care. Have a great rest of the morning, and bye bye.